mind sharing your background with us, Judge Sheppard?
Well, first, I think I wanted to thank Judge Ida Chen.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this a nice idea?
It's a great idea.
And I'm rather flattered that she invited me to be here. My background?
Yeah.
Well, 70-some years, right?
Well, take it from the beginning.
Not very exciting, some of it.
Yes.
All right, I grew up in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
what we call Oak Lane, East Oak Lane. For the Catholics in the crowd, it was St. Helena's Parish.
Okay.
I went to Northeast Catholic High School, and unfortunately, they just closed the school, shut it down. And the interesting point is it was a really big school many years ago, because when I graduated in 1955, it was the largest boys' Catholic high school in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We graduated at 1,075 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Big school. Then I went to Villanova on an NREC scholarship. My daddy was a printer. I couldn't have afforded college, but I went to Villanova, studied electrical engineering. Did pretty good. Then I went in the Navy for 3.5 years.
Yeah, I thought you were in the service.
Yeah. The interesting thing there was we were the destroyer out of Charleston. We were a destroyer on the 882.
Around what time was this?
Well, from 60 to 63, almost
Okay.
64. The two interesting parts of that service was that we were out picking up the capsules when Glenn and Sheppard and that crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're out there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that was just the Geminis. And then I was in the Cuban crisis, which was really very interesting, because we were at sea for 3 days before the president talked.
Maybe a little dangerous.
Yeah, oh, it was interesting. And we were the first destroyer outside Havana. It was surreal. It was just beautiful. The sun, the blue water, everything. And the guns were loaded. They were, I don't think people realized how close it got. But in any event, I got out of the Navy. Then I was working as an engineer at the Philadelphia Electric Company as what we call an applications engineer, sort of a poor man's salesman.
Yeah, but had the title of engineer to it, though.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. I had an EE degree, and then I went to law school at night.
Did you?
Yeah. I had a brother-in-law, Judge Avellino, and he had suggested it. And then in 1968, I became a lawyer, and I was working with Schneider, Harrison, Sewell, and Lewis at first, and then later on I worked with Tom Monteverdi. And in 1983, I ran for judge, and here I am.
There you
Long
are.
time.
Yeah.
And I guess we can tell the folks that you and I met that long ago.
I think we can tell the folks we've known
that
each
makes
other
us
for
young and friends.
almost 30 years.
Being
Yeah.
out in the family court.
Right.
I had never done a family court case, and didn't. That's what the Supreme Court told me. You go out there and work for Judge Cipriani. He was a beautiful guy.
Nick, yeah.
Wonderful man. So I worked for Judge Cipriani. I was in what we call the dependent court. There never was enough money, for those kids.
Never, and that's an important place in the court system.
It's a sad thing. Some people just didn't take care of their children or care. Well, we won't dwell on that.
Okay.
And then I did criminal work in the criminal courts. And then in 1990,
you've been in civil for quite some time.
I've been in civil since then.
Right.
Yeah. And then in the year 2000, Judge John Hearn and I, well, he really started it, but we started the Commerce Court.
Oh, right.
He was the guy that really put it together.
Yeah.
He's a terrific judge.
Okay.
And a good guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a good man.
So that's, there's the background. I guess that's, doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot of years.
Well, yeah. You and me both. But I was wondering that now that we have, all your experience, and that's an important factor with being a judge and with court decisions, what legal and judicial matters have you been involved with that might interest the public? I know it's all in public interest, but are there any
Well,
big time cases?
no, I don't know that, a bunch of them made the newspapers.
Yeah.
I had a hard time sometimes in the criminal matters because the district attorneys didn't think I was mean enough.
Okay, they do tend to.
Yeah, well, a couple of those
Make
fellas,
those
nice
judgments.
fellas, but they could have been in the Gestapo. But I have some of my civil cases are pretty interesting. Right now I'm in the middle of this 10 Rittenhouse case.
And what's that?
That's about the big new building out there in
High-rise.
Rittenhouse Square, and
Yeah.
there's a monster fight going on between the first lender and the mezzanine lender and the
Oh.
developer, and my goodness.
It's not complicated, is it?
Oh, yeah. And then I have this matter out here in Chester County where a fellow named O'Neill was trying to build a real big
Oh, yeah.
shopping place. Well, a big, with the stores and the condominium and so on, and he got into a fight with the bank. And the bank was taken over by a Scotland bank, and that's what complicates it. So I have some interesting cases.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're not big deals. They're just day in and day out.
Well, is that how, pretty much how you treat all court cases, about the same?
Yeah, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think you have to.
And I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Has the practice of law changed a lot over the years?
Oh, I think so. Well, it always does change in terms it gets better. I mean, in other words, you have precedents and then things.
Oh, right.
Things evolve.
Yeah, sure.
One of the things that has happened that I've been a little disappointed in is the courtesy among the lawyers has, I think, diminished. I don't know if that's because of the competition or whether it's a reflection of society as a whole. People are not so nice to each other anymore.
No? Well,
I don't know if that's the same feeling that some of the other judges have, or their input, but
Yeah.
I wish that when I first started, some of the lawyers, now they're old timers with me, they were much more courteous, I thought.
And was it the procedure was more formal, wasn't it? Or?
Yeah, it was, and but you could, I guess it was when you mentioned it, Len, perhaps, yeah.
Maybe I don't know how much influence that judges like you can have over the conduct of attorneys that are in.
Well, you try and
Yeah.
have a meaningful courtroom. You don't want to let the...
Right.
But one of the things I've always tried to do is treat them like gentlemen. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to... Any judge that doesn't remember where it came from is
Right,
dumb.
right,
Just
yeah.
plain dumb.
That was you one day.
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I was out there trying to persuade some fella. And
Right.
So I treated them all as nice as I could, commensurate with what we were trying to get done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, move.
Well, Ben Franklin said you catch more flies with a spoonful of honey than a barrel of vinegar, right?
Okay.
Having a barrel of vinegar.
I guess he's right.
Yeah.
Listen, is there any advice that you would give to new judges? I know we were talking
Well,
about.
I think I would tell them if they could to try and focus on just being themselves.
Mhm.
Some folks, when they come on the bench, become somewhat imperious. They view themselves as more important than some other people, and then they become pedantic and didactic. And, in other words, I think you have to just do what when we ran for judge, there were Bar Association criteria, and I think part of it was you had to be temperate, courteous,
yeah.
and those kind of things. And I think if you treat people the way you wanted to be treated, or you were at the time,
Right.
then that's fine. I think all new judges should try and do that. Other than that, I wouldn't tell anybody what to do. You had to let them be their own. No, they should be their own guy or
Yeah.
lady.
And the experience is worth something, but the guidance
Yeah.
is good for judges and good for humans.
I think that most new judges would learn that there's, especially in this jurisdiction where we have, I think, 95 judges, but a lot of the more senior people will help you all the time.
That's a great source.
I mean, Alex Bonaviacola and Nick Cipriani were really very good to me, and
Both.
Judge Blake helped a lot.
Right.
In fact, I have very fond thoughts of Alex at Montevideo
Yeah.
and Judge Blake.
Both of
And,
the gentlemen.
yeah,
helped
and
me.
Nick Cipriani. Well, you worked with Nick
Yes, I
before.
did.
Yeah,
yes.
he was a nice man.
Yeah, for years, and he is a real gentleman.
Yeah, wasn't he a gentleman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would suggest to any new judge: be a gentleman or a lady, and try and treat others like he would want to be treated.
Very good.
No big deal.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
No, I don't know. They asked if I had done anything that I was proud of. I think
Yeah.
that in 1990, I headed up the SHEPPARD Committee for Justice McDermott.
That's right.
And
'cause I
that was
referred to that
very, very
report.
well received. And I won what they call the Golden Crowbar Award. For
It's a great report.
Yeah, and I was so disappointed that the justice passed on soon after we finished it because he was going to implement more things than we did.
Yeah.
But a lot of that report did get implemented. Like, for example, the president judge can't run for consecutive terms. The case management program and theory and process that turned out to be so successful.
That is
We
huge.
set that out.
I've used part of that.
Yeah, and in fact, LaGrome Davis in the criminal side, and Alex Montevideo,
Sure.
and Greg Lord, and myself, and
Yeah.
John Herron in the civil side. So that was I was very proud of that report.
Yeah.
And
you
it
should
was
have.
really well received. I got to be interviewed by my Marty Moss Cohane on the Channel 12. The only thing that she was very good. She wasn't as good looking as you. Well, that's a fit. She's much better looking than you.
But seriously, that report is a landmark report
Yeah,
in
it was
court
really
administration. It's fabulous.
And the other thing I was very proud of is I made some great friends is here in the court I was what they called the head of the banner committee.
Okay. Oh, right.
Which works
Automation.
on the automation for banner I guess I don't know who's going to ever see this, but the banner is the program we have for the computers.
Yeah.
And now we're up to where we can have electronic filing.
Yeah, isn't that great?
But Harold Palmer did the work up in the programmers.
Yeah.
And I was there for 8 years and ran that show with him, and really turned out very well. Bonnie O'Kane was instrumental. She was a big help. Kevin Daly.
Yeah.
And then I remember everybody was so nervous and worried about Y2K, and we just swam right through.
It wasn't even a blip.
No,
on the radar
we
screen.
knew what the hell we were doing. Harold was just terrific.
Yeah.
So we did
He's a
that.
great programmer,
Yeah. And then
manager.
the other thing I'm proud of is the commerce program. It's been very well received.
Great. That's excellent.
And 2 years, 3 or 4 years ago, I don't know, sometimes, Leonard, the years just get by us.
You too?
Yeah, but I won the Brennan Award, which was really very good.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and that's a Bar Association award if you've really been what they call a really good judge, I guess. You got to do something important for the...
And surely you
that's-
are.
yeah, and I remember at the Bar Association quarterly meeting when I won it, the crowd was really terrific.
Oh, bad.
Well, I had some friends out there. The hooting and hollering made me feel good, and I kept saying to myself, now remember what you tell other people, to just be yourself and stop being inferior. Don't let this go to your head. So,
And surely you have.
no, so but so I've had some interesting times and did some work I was proud of. Other times I've been appealed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There was a couple periods during my long time here on the bench where I used to think, geez, do I ever do anything right?
Well, I think we all go through those periods.
Yeah, well,
don't we?
it's an interesting business we're in,
Yeah.
with the law and doing law cases. You got a 50-50 chance.
Right.
Somebody has to lose.
She's right. Yeah, it's somebody's
Somebody
wrong.
has to lose.
Yeah.
But God's been good. I've been very, very happy. Everybody in this business around here is just wonderful, I think.
Well,
Including
that's
you.
Well, you know what?
And I said Judge Chen, she's done a beautiful thing having this
I agree.
for all the seniors. Typically, senior judges are treated pretty shabbily.
Yeah.
But that's what can you do? That's the budget. And,
Right.
people have their own problems as we go through the days.
Okay.
So I had good days and bad, but I have really liked very much my job. I subscribe to that old saying that if you like your job, you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah, how about that?
So,
And I see you every day.
oh, I have, well, and it's interesting. I'm a little bit disappointed in them, but it's a budget problem. I only get paid 10 days a month. But you can't run the commerce program if you're not here at least 16.
Wow.
I've got it figured out. You know,
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm here usually more, but I mean, you could do it on 16 days or 17 days. And the reason you have to be around is it's a program that generates a lot of injunctions and alleged emergencies.
Okay, right.
Because businesses are always, it's very competitive out
Mm.
there, you know what I'm saying? And you have these fellows that jump from one company to another and they're afraid they're taking secrets.
Right.
Or lawyers break up and now all of a sudden they're arguing about who gets the clients and there's a case coming and now we need an emergency.
Yeah, it's another emergency.
So there's a lot of quote, but most of them are not emergencies. Someday I'm going to have a real big seminar
On.
to teach what's an emergency.
But more importantly, what's not.
Why, well, yes. I don't know. Did I answer your questions? I hope
Yeah,
I
you
helped.
did. You did.
Well, this has been a delightful time. What else do I get to say here?
Isn't that great?
We
Doesn't matter
covered
to
it.
me, Judge.
Now, did you cover most of it?
I think so.
Well, you've done a good job.
And we didn't talk about what inspired you to become a judge. You said
Well, I
Judge
was against
Avelino.
Judge Avelino, and I was, I guess I had been a judge for, what, 16 years? And, I don't know, I woke up one day and he was saying, you would really be good because I did like the law and I was allegedly pretty bright with it. But so I just decided to run and luckily I got on the bench.
And I'm thankful that you did.
Yeah. And you and I go way back, and it's really good to see you.
Right back to you. Judge Albert Sheppard.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hacking.
Thank you very much.
You're
for
a good
being here.
man.